Data, objects, bubbles, transformations. Is it so? Okay. So in DFT, with respect to DFT or whenever we talk about DFT, what should come to our mind? It will be of various level, okay, and it will be represented in the hierarchical fashion, okay. So initially what we draw the basic DFT is nothing but the first level of DFT, level 0 DFT is called as context level DFT, okay. So which is used to represent the overall system of overall the entire system. It represents the overall system, okay. So internally what is happening will be represented or refined in the subsequent levels. So we can go level 1, level 2, level 3, etc. till we are able to write a program. Till we are able to write a program, simple program. Till that level we can go further levels, right? So this is about DFT. We are discussing about safe home security function, safe home software, okay. So the initial level of level 0 DFT we have only, it is a safe home software, that's it. What exactly that software, we are not knowing about it. So we only have a clue, it will be receiving input from sensors, some control panel, and it will be giving the display or the result to the control panel, and it will be sending the output to the alarm. Like set of things will be transferred to alarm, or some part of the information will be given to the alarm, okay, and something will be given to the telephone line. This is what so far we have discussed. So in level 2 DFT we are going to refine the safe home software. Safe home software where detailing about what that software is going to do, that will be dealt. So I think part of the diagram I just completed. I will start with the first block. So whatever you have already done, no need to repeat. Take this question also. Interact with the user. Interact with user. So arrow will be labeled, and even the bubbles will be having some meaningful name. User commands and data is given to this, and this is further having 3 data objects: process, password. So this will be having the data as password, and this is for stop, activate or deactivate the system. Activate or deactivate the system, and this will be, I hope you have drawn already. What have you written? Configure system. So this is configure. You can take any example, you can search in the net, and you can take any other system also when you are simply asked about DFT. So then the process password block. If it is valid ID, sometimes you will look over to just draw it as a circle only. configure system. This is configuration detail. No talking. Control panel display. Display the information, parent ID, configuration data, so this is monitor sensor, so whatever you had in the level 0, everything will be there, but in level 1 will give more details. Sensor, no talking please. Sensor, status. Again, label can be of anything, but it should be a meaningful one. From the monitor sensor, sensor information, control panel display. Actually, next there must be 2 more blocks which I will draw here as there is no space. Alarm, telephone line, from the sensor, alarm type, right label as telephone, anything is not labeled, configuration, this also will give the configuration data. Okay, completed. So your level 1 DFT for software security function. As I mentioned, at any point of time there will be only one bubble focused. Okay, only one thing only is going to be refined. So the software, what are all the right? So from the previous diagram, if you see, you had control panel, sensor. On the right side, you had control panel, alarm, and then telephone line. Only in the middle, you had a bubble. You had a bubble transformation where you had labeled as Safeco software. So that Safeco software only is defined as so many things here. What are all the things are included in that only? Is represented here. Control panel will be giving the user commands and data to the bubble or the what do you say data object that is named as interact with user, which means from the user it will be collecting the information. So the collection of information will be done from two different sources here. One is from the user, whatever the commands and data is collected, that is processed based on the user command. Configuration will be taken place. So from this the data will be taken, and from this only configuration request is given to the next data object, which is called configure system. So you have one more data object, configure system. Okay. So this interact with user is again having three major blocks. They are processing a password, that will only check whether the password is valid or invalid. Okay, that is one segment. You can just imagine each one is a module. Each one is a module. So your entire Safeco software is divided into, or it is narrowed down by this, and this is being divided into three segments or three modules. One module is processing the password, where the validity of the password is checked. If the password is valid, then it is directed to next data block or next module. If not, here itself it will be stopped. The second module is activate or deactivate the system. That is, you are going to process, use the system, or you are going to put off the system. Activation. Though power is on, the system is not connected, you need to switch on the CPU. Like it is power supply is given and the plug pani vechirukkom, though the switches are on, you have to switch on the CPU to make use of the computer. Same logic here. Though the system is on, you need to activate the safety software. Okay, activate or deactivate. Once the activation is done, so you can direct it to display the message and the status. At any time you switch on the system, you would like to know what exactly is happening around the house. Okay, so it will display. So at so and so time some people had come. So this event had happened, that event had happened, like that it will display the information. So for that, this. And then here configuration, and what kind of configuration needs to be done. The configuration that will be taken care by other server, that is why that has been represented by something else. Yes, we are not going to refine. Okay, fine. So now again, this is only directed over here. This is not going to be refined. This is only directed to some other data object, and this is also passing the information to the next data object called display message and status. Okay, see the connectivity. If the password is correct, if it is the credential is valid, then only you will be able to display the information. If you activate, only then you can view the information. If the configuration is right, configuration is valid, only then display information. Like only the authorized person will be able to view the information. Only the house owner will be able to, once he has to switch on the system, he has to activate what he wants to view. Only then he can say. When he is switching on the system and when he is going to activate it, he will be giving his credential. Okay. So if he is not an authorized person, he will not be able to give proper credentials, so that he will not be able to display the house informations. Fine. So then from this display only, the information can be displayed to the control panel or display. Like it is this is like one, not a human inside the system. It will be checking, displaying the information. From that only it goes to the control panel LED of your PC or mobile phone or laptop, to which panel the software is being connected, to which it will be displaying the message. Then there is another data object which is called sensor. Okay, so we had a sensor. From the sensor you get the information to this monitor sensor, that is it will be monitoring the sensor. This data object's job is always monitoring the sensor. It will not be giving any information to the sensor. It will always be fetching the information from the sensor. Whatever the info given by the sensor will be monitored and it will be sent to the display message and status. So this is what is the processing phase. From here only message will be transferred over there. Sometimes from the monitor either the message could be processed or it could be directly sent to the alarm or it could be directly sent to the telephone line. Okay, say if no critical event has happened, no need to give any alarm. Okay, so no need to disturb the owner, like babysitter is there. She is fine, she is taking care of the child, no problem since morning till evening. So no need to touch this alarm and telephone line. Only the message will be transferred to the control panel. So once she comes home, she will be able to see what has happened since morning till evening. Or whenever she is free to see, she can do it. So there is no critical situation happened. So sensor has not informed anything to alarm means no problem. You get so three possibilities. One could be a normal information will be stored in the control panel. So anytime the authorized people will be able to view. The second thing is alarm. If it is something, some notification has to be given, then notification will be given to the alarm. Okay, so suppose the mother has to talk to the child at a particular point of time. So it will send a notification to the mother. It's not an emergency. It is only a notification. Okay. Third thing will be telephone line. So it has to be attended immediately. So it gets on dialing every 20 seconds. Okay. So till the other party is attending the phone call, it will be continuously dialing. That is for the emergency, to pass some information. Okay. So what we have done, the entire part, this full thing is about your safe home software. So like that, each and every data object could be refined, but when you look at here, everything is now okay. So this part is very clear, this part is very clear. Only we need to focus on monitoring the sensor, like what the sensor will do, how data is collected, how it will be identifying it is a critical information because it is performing three things. Okay, so now we are going to define this monitor sensor. Okay, it is not always mandatory. Depending upon your system, which one needs to be given more attention, which one needs to be derived to more levels, which one is not looking a simple entity. Till then you need to go for refinement. Okay, so for this system we are going for just one more level, level 2 DFD, that refines the monitor sensor process. Monitor sensor process. Level 2 DFD, that defines monitor sensor process. Please remember, at a time we consider only one data object for the refinement. In the previous case, from the level 0 to level 1, we considered safe home software for the refinement. And now you are having so many data objects, anything could be derived if requires, but we are going to take only one data object, that is monitor sensor process. sensor type, ID and location. Sensor information, alarm, data, telephone and number of times. How many times it should try? As I had mentioned, every 20 seconds it has to try dialing. So how many times it has to dial? Actually, sensor type, ID, location. Okay. Copy. Since starting of this topic, I just said it is represented always in a hierarchical fashion. But when you look at the diagram, is it looking like hierarchical? Almost, not exactly. Here, the meaning of hierarchy is that DFD level 0. From level 0 we are deriving. From level 1 we are deriving. It is a top-down approach. From top level 0 only we are deriving level 1. We are taking one particular object and suppose you mix everything as a single diagram, how it will look? That software, SafeCo software is derived into the entire diagram will come. Again, in that we will be deriving. That's why it is said hierarchical fashion. So one after the other, but from top to bottom we will be deriving. Yes. So this is for monitoring, monitor sensor process. Sensor is the one which will be monitoring the event. Okay, what is happening? So sensor status, read the sensor. So this is the one which will be processing the sensor information, monitoring the sensor. So we will check the sensor ID and type. Whatever the sensor is being fixed, because from so and so type we may have a number of sensors. Okay, in the SafeCo software. So from which sensor, what information we are getting. So from 2 or 3 places we are getting information. From more than one sensors we are getting information. So you need to identify by a sensor ID. We never said there will be only one sensor. We will have more than one sensor. So from which sensor you are getting information. converted. How it needs to be converted? Like we are having a database. In the database, we will be able to store only the primary data type, like integer, float, string, character. Only this kind of data only I will be able to store. But my data is measured by some other measurement in the form of longitude and latitude. So that data needs to be converted as whatever is my database will be able to accept. In such a way, the conversion has to be taken place, only then I can process it. So whatever the data is provided by the sensor, it may just say, it will not be able to say exactly a person came inside. It will not be able to say. It will be able to give kind of shape or some movements. With that, you have to assess what exactly had happened. Suddenly power went off, okay, or some other event had happened. That it will be denoting with some measurements only. From the measurement, you can process what kind of event has happened, what kind of information is provided by the sensor. That is one. Second thing is that from its assessment, so if it has identified that there must be a alarm given to the user, so it will decide what type of data must be given in the alarm, generate alarm signal and the alarm type, what kind of alarm it should be. Okay, so alarm may be of various ways. It may be kind of telephone ringing, or it may be just a beep sound, or it may be various sound, or it may be kind of anything. Okay, so what type of alarm needs to be given, and then dialing a phone, that is another process, because all the three are different. One is display the information, second thing is give alarm, third thing is dial phone. Like over telephone you need to inform, dial phone, and then telephone number, how many times it has to dial. Those things will be programmed. So now whatever the bubble you see, each one is a module and each one should be programmed. Okay, so more than this also you require any more refinement that could be given, and now everything are looking so simple only. So for this simple bubbles or data objects, we will be able to code. Okay, so what exactly the purpose or what is the use of DFD? The main task is divided into number of subtasks. So from this DFD, you get to know that what type of data is given to a particular module, what function that particular module does. So it is able to say the data domain as well as the function domain. Okay, so this is about DFD. So we will move on to the next topic called FSM, finite state machine. Finite state machine. Bharat, get up and read. Read from your notebook, yeah. Anybody from this side? Saranya. What is a finite state machine? It consists of set of input symbols, which means number one, input symbols will be there. Second, if it produces output, there will be a set of output symbols. There will be number of states. There will be a transition, and the transition will map the state on the input symbol. Clear? So, in other words, I can define finite state machine will be having some number of elements or tuples. There will be 5 tuples. There will be 5 tuples. Okay? So, no need to write. Just listen. Sigma, delta, start state, final state, and set of states. All the five only is comprised of finite state machine. What is the use of finite state machine? Like we are writing algorithm, we are learning modeling languages. So these are all the previous pre-steps for the coding. Okay, so we write an algorithm for any problem, and then we will be implementing that algorithm using any of the well-known programming languages. Okay, we do model something, and the model will be coded later. Model will be implemented. Similarly, finite state machine is the method, or it is a theoretical tool using which we will be able to perform computer programming. It is again a previous step, but it will be using a lot of mathematics. So we can say that it is a abstract machine or mathematical machine for the computers. Okay, so this is actually given as a separate subject named as theory of computation. For the computation, theoretical representation only we call as finite state machine. A set of states will be there. So suppose I am constructing a finite state machine. So I do construct a finite state machine which will be having set of states Q1, Q2. I take input A and B, again A and Q3. Okay, when the process starts, whatever the state, whichever is the first state, we call it as a start state. So we label this with start. We label this arrow with start. So this we call it as transition. So this is the start state, and when I consider these two states Q0 and Q1, there is a transition for the input symbol A. So I can say that Q0 is the state which receives input as A. For that it produces output as Q1. Output as Q1. Okay. So now Q0 is the state. Input is B. There is no output. There is no output because there is no transition for B on the state Q0. Okay. So now when I consider Q1, input symbol B, the output state is Q2. When I consider input symbol A on Q1, there is no transition. Or I can give another transition for A like this. There is a transition on Q1 for the input symbol A, that is itself, Q1 itself. So some A, again and again, even if you give A also, it will not move from its state, it will remain in the same state Q1 itself. Similarly, when the state is Q2, and if you are giving input as A, it goes to Q3. So I can write like this: Q2, input is A, it goes to Q3. When the state is Q2, and if the input is B, suppose I want to give transition like this. I want to give transition like this. So input state is Q2, input is B, it goes to Q1. It goes to Q2. Just I am not following any language over here. Just I am explaining you how the transitions are taken place. Okay. So then from Q2, when input is A, it goes to Q3. I am not going to extend this. So I declare this as a final state. So what are all the things you see here? You can see some number of states. Finite number of states. If it goes on, extends like hundreds, thousands, lakhs of states means I don't say it is a finite state machine. Which means what is the first condition? I can have only finite number of states. There must be a limited number of states. So here, when I am using Q to represent states over here, Q is Q0, Q1, Q2 and Q3. Okay, and input symbol is represented. I use any symbol to represent. So I am using sigma to represent input symbol. What are all the possible input symbols we find over here? Input symbols A and B. We have only two types of input symbols, A and B. There may be a language where the input symbols could be zeros and ones, or even some other input also could be given. But for this FSM, for this finite state machine, I am using the input symbols as A and B. What is the start state here? Start state is Q0. Final state is Q3. So to differentiate a non-final state from the final state, we give double circle for the final state. Okay. So whichever state is having double circle, it is called final state. All other states are called non-final states. Okay. Fine. So these four elements are very simple. Now there is a term called transition, which maps state and symbol. State symbol pair. You can see in your definition, state symbol pair. So this transition, delta is used to represent the transition, which will be giving a mapping between state and input symbol. That is what I have written here. Delta of Q0 comma A is equal to Q1, which means this is current state, this is input symbol, and this is the next state. Current state. On the current state, when you apply one input symbol, it moves on to the next state. But for the same, do you have any other transition? Q0 comma A other than Q1, do you have any other state? No. So for one input symbol, from one state, we have only one output state. So we can say this as deterministic finite automaton. Deterministic finite state machine. I repeat again, on a particular state, when you pass any input symbol, you get only one state as output state. When you are having only one state as output state, on a particular mapping of state and symbol, we say it is a finite state, deterministic finite machine. Deterministic finite machine. There will be a case where for the same you can have two different states. For the input symbol A itself, it may stay back here also. So for this, if I am writing a transition, it could be delta of Q0 comma A is equal to two outputs will be there. Correct? Q0 will be one output, Q1 will be other output, because on a state Q0, when I pass input A, it is staying back in the either it can stay back in Q0 itself, or it may move on to Q1. Two possibilities. Clear? So this is what is called transition. So forget this DFA, NFA will come later. Now we are in only DFA, deterministic finite automaton. So how to construct a transition table, or how to write a transition. Q0 comma A is equal to Q1. From Q0 there is no other transition. So next state Q1. Q1 comma A is equal to Q1. Delta of Q1 comma B is equal to Q2. Delta of Q2 comma A is equal to Q3. Delta of Q2 comma B is equal to Q1. After reaching final state, I give whatever the input you receive be in the same state. Just I am giving some transitions. Okay. So delta of Q3 comma A is equal to Q3. Delta of Q3 comma B is equal to Q3 itself. And Q3 is the final state. This could be even represented by a table. Okay. Whatever I have written here in a simple way, we can write it as a table where input symbol should be given over there, and your state has to be listed. To represent it as a start state, we have to give an arrow Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3. There are 4 states in this particular automaton. All those things I have listed. Now, can you give me the entry for the table? A on Q0. A on Q0. A on Q3, Q3 itself, and this also Q3. Here to denote it is a final state, circle it. This is what is your deterministic finite state machine. So whatever we discussed now, you need to write the definition, you need to talk about the input symbol, states, and take one example and draw a finite automaton and list out all these states and the table translations. Enough. One more non-deterministic finite automaton. As I mentioned, for a particular input symbol, it may go to more than one state. More than one state. Then we say it is a non-deterministic finite automaton. Symbol we say it is a NFA. Deterministic finite automaton is called as DFA. So DFA and NFA. Okay. So you need to talk about finite number of states, symbols. Only difference between NFA and DFA is it may have more than one state as output state. Okay. So here Q1 for input A, it stays in Q1, and for the same input A, it may go to Q2. It may go to Q2. Okay, what is the difference? Why NFA is required here? NFA is with mistake also you can do, but DFA is very determined one. Okay, so correct execution will be shown by the DFA, but NFA all possibilities will be represented. That's it. Okay, so finite state machine also we have done. Please go through. You don't find this in any of the books. Okay, as I know very well theory of computation, finite automaton. I will give you one more example in the next class, possible. Okay, so with NFA also we will see. Later what normally we do, like beginner will draw NFA. Beginner will draw NFA. The NFA could be converted as DFA.